concerning life, ministry, and personal experiences in Christ. Welcome to Coffee and Tea with Anne Marie, with your host, Anne Marie Bills.
Hello, and welcome back again to Coffee and Tea with Anne Marie. I'm so happy to have you again, and I'm just excited to have my guest from last week returning. But before I introduce you, I want to remind you, it really helps our program and our algorithms. If you go down if you're on social media, Facebook, YouTube, X, wherever you're watching, if you hit like and then subscribe to our channel, and we really appreciate it. It really helps out. So that being said, I'm excited to bring back part 4 of Hello, Joyce. My name is Jesus. And I bring back my guest, Joyce Galasso. And I'm excited because we're going to wrap up 3 other shows.
Yes.
And tell like the story of who and what she's in her walk with the Lord right now. So welcome back.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And so let's give a little recap and then finish the story that we
cut off in the middle of
last time. And then let's go.
The recap is I was a young adult. I was in my early 20s when I first was introduced to the name of Jesus by my neighbor. And with that, after talking with her regularly, we were neighbors. I was go to visit her at her house. She had given me a challenge to commit to reading His Word, the Bible, every day, just for 1 month. That was all, just for 1 month. And so I accepted the challenge. And because I made a yes, I stuck by it. And I found afterwards I wanted to learn more. I wanted to read more. And so after I got familiar with the Bible, what's in it, what is it for, I found a church and I started going regularly. With that is when I realized I needed to do a more committed relationship with the Lord.
Okay.
And so that started my walk. That started my walk to where I chose to. I didn't have to. I chose to believe everything I read about the Lord and what the words are teaching me.
Right.
I did accept the knowledge that Jesus was the example that was written about in both Old Testament and New Testament. But through His being the example, the words were given to the prophets. I think they're all prophets that wrote the word, that wrote it down.
They're not necessarily all prophets, but
whoever wrote the words down.
But they were all inspired.
That's the word I'm looking for.
They were all inspired.
Whoever was inspired, I chose to believe the word says they were given to them. The words were given to them by God. They were inspired to write it down.
Right.
He was the example. So I choose to accept and believe and follow.
And I think more than example, He is the Word.
It's
not just an example, but He is the Word.
Yes.
The Word made flesh and dwelt among us.
Yes.
Yes.
And is still by His leaving us with His breath,
right.
The Spirit. Golly, that's nice.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
last time first of all, we know you grew up in an abusive household.
Yes.
And you became addicted to alcohol and
Yes,
drugs.
and drugs, yeah.
And you had a child in
Yes.
when you were in high school age.
Ninth grade.
Ninth grade. Ooh, you were young.
Ninth grade. I was 15 with her in my arms. 15.
Right.
And back then, abortions were not legal. But you could get one if you had 2 doctors, a medical and a psychiatrist, and a parent signature. You could get an abortion.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yes. I had the 2 doctors. The parent said, "You made your bed, now sleep in it."
Wow.
What does that even mean? Why would you sleep in a bed that you've made up? But whatever, but that was the terminology.
Well, and while she wasn't keeping you from abortion in a spiritual or rightful way, but there are many women who have had abortions who are very regretful, because as they get older, they realize that that's not the will of God. Now, you didn't know
Correct.
God at that time.
I didn't know God at that time. And she kept me from the abortion. Well, her exact words were, "You made your bed, now sleep in it."
And it's interesting because that's coming from a non-believer. And I know a woman whose father was a pastor, and they were devout Christians, and her mother took her to the abortion clinic.
Ooh, that's harsh.
You know, and I don't think she fully understood what that was she was doing at that time. That's murder.
I'm going to guess she didn't.
No.
My mother used to call herself a Christian.
Oh, okay.
That could be why I had a lot of judgment about people. I put it in a category. I would say 90% of people that exist throughout the whole world on the earth, 90% of them call themselves Christians.
Or some follower of some God that they've named.
Yes.
But that doesn't mean
that they really are.
I worked with a group that was another faith, and they all called themselves by this faith. But I saw them doing stuff that wasn't in line with that all the time. You know, it was for many people, what they call faith is a cultural thing, you know.
Yes.
My family was Christian, so I'm Christian.
Yes.
My family is Islam, so I'm Islam. My family is Buddhist, so I'm Buddhist.
Yes.
You know, and there are many people in those different faiths that are very devout and everything, but to many times it's, well, that's what my family is, so that's what I am.
That's what I am.
But there's no true belief or faith behind it.
Right.
So
yeah.
So did you finish the story you were going to finish?
No.
So let's go for it.
So what happened was, so back then, back in the 30s, because that's when my mom was born, she was the firstborn, and she was given here to her grandma, her dad's mom, to take care of. And according to my grandmother, that's just what was done back then. And I'm starting to wonder now if it was a cultural thing, Hispanics, because those are the people that, when I talk to, that are familiar with that, giving your child to this grandma.
Yeah, because I'd never heard of anything like that.
And so that grandma, she had other children also. So the dad, my grandfather, he wasn't an only child. She had other kids. But for whatever reason, the grandma hated the wife, my grandmother. And so, and I remember my mother telling me this, that her grandma would always tell her, you see how your family come visit? They were next door neighbors. Next door neighbors. Do you see how your family come and visit you, but they go home and they leave you here? They don't want you to go home with them. They leave you here. So you're already disrupting a thought process into ugly.
I'm not wanting. I'm not wanted. I'm worthless. Yeah.
It's ugly.
I'm not loved.
Yeah. So when the grandma died, she then, as my mother was a teenager, she was still in high school, she had to go live with her own family. Well, they had other kids, but she was the oldest. So she felt, I'm in charge. Well, her sister, the next in line, because she had actually been the oldest living in that household, you're not going to tell me what to do. You're not my boss. And they had a violent relationship.
My goodness.
I'm going to hurt you physically. And then my mother got pregnant with me. And what I'd learned, because what I learned through growing up, my mother did not like me. She didn't want me. She wanted,
Were you the one she got pregnant with?
I'm the one she got pregnant with. Yeah.
So, and she didn't want, I mean, it was,
She didn't want to be pregnant.
right, she wasn't married, I take it.
She was not married.
Okay.
And when I was older, after I had married Jack, and I already had the 2 kids, my teenage pregnancy, and then the one with my husband. So I was already in 20s. I thought I was so old. But I had asked my grandmother, because when I was young, single digits, somewhere how the subject ever came up, I don't know. But my mother would share it with me throughout my whole life. Joyce, you got your first good whooping, a good whooping, at 6 months old. She was very proud of it. After I had my second child is when I'm realizing, what does a 6-month-old do wrong?
Nothing.
What are they doing wrong? Even with my second child, the baby wore regular cloth diapers with safety pins. They had just barely created the paper diapers,
Right.
Pampers.
Right.
But we couldn't afford it. My husband was the only one that was working. I wasn't working during those times. So when I was a little kid in diapers, there were no paper diapers. It was
Right.
only cloth.
Right.
So, and I'm thinking, what can a 6-month-old do wrong? They cry when they're hungry, or they cry if that safety pin popped open.
Or if they're dirty or, you know.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yes. But to get a good whooping, and it was no few swats. I remember the whoopings, and the whoopings were where I ended up bloody and skin ripped open because they were good whoopings. What did I do at 6 months to get my first one?
No. I'm not sure what any child does to get a whooping like that. Even older child, you know. It's
Even
like,
older.
that's only, it's creating something crazy. But I'm guessing that that's what your mother experienced as a child too.
I can only guess.
Because normally abusers learn from their,
Oh, yes.
you know,
That's right.
you know.
That's right.
So,
So it was not a loving household.
right.
At all.
Not at all.
Not at all. So when I met Jesus, and I went over a little bit of it in a previous visit with us, he was going to teach me what a father is. He was going to not intertwine our fingers. He was going to hold me by my wrist. He was going to show me through love and gentleness what a parent should be.
So this is a question that we hadn't talked about. Did you even know who your father was?
No, and that has turned out to be a very secondary on top, sad story. The name that my mother had given me of what his was, I had heard that name all of my life, but she would not give me any other. What she told me was his name is, I want to say it, but I don't want to say it because it could be, it could belong to somebody, and he's going to get it, so whatever his name is. And she told me he was tall, blonde, and blue-eyed. Okay. And she told me he was had German background. Was that descent in him? Not descent.
Yeah.
Is it descent?
Well, German. Yeah, he's
Okay.
of German descent.
So it is
partially.
the word descent. Yeah. And so that's all I knew, all the way up until when I asked my grandmother about it, because if I ever asked my mother a question, she would just turn her back to me.
Really?
And never answer. It was silence. So I, at that time, would turn around and leave the room.
Wow.
I'm just standing here looking at the back of your head. And that's how it was with any question about him. So then in my 20s, she died. My mother died. She died of medical issues that she had. My mother was an epileptic.
Oh, okay.
And she wouldn't take the medicine the way you're supposed to.
Okay.
She would only take her medicine at the onset of a seizure. She used to have grand mal seizures to where her seizures would she would just chew up her tongue and it would knock her out, not a coma, but it would knock her out for about 48 hours, 2 days worth. You just couldn't wake her up. And that's what I was used to. And we had tried once in a while putting pencils so you don't chew up your tongue. She'd just chew up the pencil and then chew up her tongue anyway. But she died in my 20s. And it's sad. I smiled. I shouldn't smile. I remember in one of our earlier, I had said that God had spoken to me before, not just when he was introducing me to him. When I was a child, I was still single digits. I want to say I was about 7 years old. I remember playing on the porch stairs, playing by myself. And I remember going up and jumping down and going up and jumping down. And during one of those episodes, I'd heard, "You're going to find your mother dead, but you're not going to be happy about it. But you're also not going to be sad."
Wow.
Okay. And then I go back and doing the stairs, just playing. It never happened again. So then in my 20s, my mother was my babysitter. I had a job from 9 in the morning until 1 in the afternoon. So I would take the kids to school. I had the 2 kids, and she lived just a half a block away from me.
Okay.
Here, the corner, and she lived here. Just, close by. And as I'm coming, and I used to walk, because it was just down the hill. So I used to walk to work and walk home. And so when I would come home, she was always at my place with the 2 kids. She wasn't there one day. And the neighbor came and told me, "Your mother never came to pick up the kids. They're with me." Okay, so I got the kids from her house, and she had said, let me continue watching the kids while you go check on your mom. She just lived up the block. So I do. As I'm walking up the block, those words came back to me. You're going to find your mother dead, but you're not going to be happy and you're not going to be sad. So, Mom. And sure enough, she was way over there between, her body was on the floor, between her bathroom and her bed. She was laying on the floor. And I don't know what to do. So I called the operator. Operator, I don't know what to do. So the operator says, are you married? Yes. Let's call your husband. So he called the husband. And he said, now we're going to call. Now, he didn't call them first. Interesting that I think about that. Now we're going to call the ambulance and see what they guide.
Right.
So maybe 911. Maybe it was in existence then. I don't know.
Yeah.
But he did that. And sure enough, the ambulance come, the police come, all kinds of people came. And as we got through all of that commotion, and then they're now sending me home, I walked home with Jack. Jack was with me. We walked home. And I remember feeling relief. Not sad, not happy. Relief.
Interesting.
It's finally over. So then I went to my grandmother, asked her a lot of questions. She answered what she could. She had told me, yeah, that's what your mom told me his name was. We went to the job, and the job said there was no one there by that name.
Okay.
So what could we do after that? We couldn't do anything. It just recently now, last year, 2025, I did the DNA.
Okay.
We're talking 50 years later. I was 20 then. I'm now 70s.
Right.
Interesting. It matched me. There was another female that was matching me as a sister, a half sister. Whoa, the DNA does that? Wow. With the half sister, we also matched a girl cousin from this father's side. So I contacted both of them, and it was the cousin. Her mother was the sister of this boy or man.
So your aunt.
My aunt. And the DNA still does whatever they do.
Right.
They ended up sending me a picture of this man that matched. I sent the picture to the remaining living family members. Do either of you recognize this guy? My uncle said, yeah, I remember him. He's the one that used to lock me in the closet.
Ooh.
I remember him. That is him. My uncle at the time that was happening was 5 years old.
Oh, my goodness.
But see, trauma, we remember.
Right.
So come to find out, the name I was given, nope, not his name at all. So did he lie to my mom also?
Either lied or she didn't want you to know.
Either way.
So we're
We're
out
out
of
of
go so
time.
fast, but we've got just a few minutes left. So you've gone through all this trauma, and what happened? I mean, ultimately, how did you get through that trauma now that you're on this side?
Thanking God through the book of Psalms.
Okay.
Psalms has made me realize, because Psalms talks about, I was there when you were being created in secret. I knew the steps you would take, and I haven't left you. I have never left your side since the moment you were created in secret. God, you couldn't have put it more accurately. You haven't left me.
Right.
You've guided me. You've taken me by my wrist through every step until now, today. And I
will
want
not
and
leave
need
you or
more of
forsake you.
Never, never leave you nor forsake you. That's how I am now.
That's awesome.
I have more to share, though. I have another whole life still to share.
Well, we have to come back then, because we're going to maybe go a little bit longer, give you time to get ready to share again, but
Okay.
we'll have you back another time.
Thank you. I like talking with you.
This is good. This is very good. So I want to thank you for joining us on Coffee and Tea with Anne Marie. I think Joyce's stories give a lot of hope to those who are going through abuse or trauma, or have gone through abuse and trauma, and to see that we can come out whole on the other side,
Yes.
but with Jesus.
Yes.
With Jesus in our lives. So if you haven't accepted Jesus, I'm going to challenge you today to do what her neighbor said and go for a month and read like a chapter every day. And I'm going to recommend you start in the book of John and really go through that chapter by chapter and let the Lord speak to you. But if you're ready today to accept the Lord, all you have to do is say, Lord, I'm a sinner, and I am so sorry for my sins. I repent, and I praise you. All I want is ask you to come into my heart and into my life. And if you do that, he's going to do it. He's going to come into your life, and he's going to redeem you.
Yeah.
So please, I invite you to read the scriptures, accept the Lord, and come back and see us again on Coffee and Tea with Anne Marie. And thank you for joining in. And thank you, Joyce.
Thank you for letting me just talk on and on.
Yes, you're welcome. All right. Thank you for coming. Bye-bye.
The preceding program was brought to you by the Holy Spirit Broadcasting Network, HSBN Television.